Okay, this video is going to be about bullying, and I'm also going to get into my past experiences, and I'm going to get into how the genders are affected with regard to being bullied. And I'm talking about school and workplace scenarios, which are primarily where it happens. And so I'm just going to jump right into this. Um, okay, a little bit about my history before I go any further. Okay, for me, I would say kindergarten through, I would say about fifth grade at least, or sixth grade. I consider that my sojourn. It was I pretty much had peace. I was, for those of you just who haven't watched any of my other videos, I was very unpopular. Considered weird and neurodivergent, which are definitely markers as far as being a target for bullies. And if you didn't encounter bullying, you probably might have experienced being an outcast, just outright shunned, and you might have had to deal with versions of it that were like I'm going to say passive aggressive behavior. But anyway, so I'm going to say probably seventh grade is when I most probably remember experiencing a lot of bullying. I think I may have mentioned this before, but by the time I hit about 12 or so, that's kind of when it's like you're no longer in this when you're in the elementary school grades, all that's really expected of you on a social level is you get along with others and you're a team player. I really feel like you could be a C student and if you're still outgoing and popular, your teachers will like you a whole lot more than someone who's kind of an antisocial loner that just happens to perform better academically. They get A's and B's. No, I sincerely believe that. But when people like to say being liked is not important or being liked isn't everything, I really feel like it's gaslighting. Sorry, but I guess when I said seventh grade, right? Because when you're about 12, that's kind of when these social expectations shift from you're no longer able to get away with just being a team player. You've got to be part of the in crowd. You got to be popular with the opposite sex. You got to do this, that, and the other thing. And for somebody like me, I mean, it was a huge burden on my shoulders. So I know I had my share of difficulties. Now, getting into the topic of the genders and how that factors into being bullied, for the most part, if you're a woman watching this now and you had these experiences, most likely you were dealing with other girls that were mistreating you. I'm sure if you saw the Mean Girls movie. Um, yeah, the one I think it came out in 2004. Yeah, you ought to see that. It's pretty familiar. And if you're a man watching this, then and you can relate, and you think and you had experiences with bullying, it was most likely. I hate to get into stereotypes, but there's always that whole thing with it's kind of a trope. The Poindexter nerd. It's getting the swirlies from the jock and the big man on campus type. So usually it's usually it's people that are the same gender as you, right? Every now and then there may be exceptions. There may be here's where you might have been bullied by someone of the opposite gender. And I have been doing a lot of soul searching on that and wondering what is the psychology behind somebody who mistreats you during your school years or even beyond that and is somebody in the opposite sex. And because I kind of think it's different. I think when it's girls picking on other girls, it's always it's just it's always like the same thing. It's a quest for dominance, and boys that pick on boys that are weaker than them. The whole same thing. Um, Dominance and making themselves feel better about themselves. You know, by like it's just bullying is pretty much a manifestation of establishing who you are in the pecking order and who your target is. So anyway, I had my share of obviously difficulties. The people I went to school with, I dealt with boys that were assholes. We dealt with girls who were out and out cunts. And honestly, I think the females, I think the experiences I had were far worse. I don't know what it is, but female aggression towards in schools, it's kind of difficult. It's different. Boys, it's just usually it's physical aggression. Like I said, something about swirlies, and it's mainly pushing, throwing stuff, things like that. But females, I don't know. They're more devious. There's more passive aggressiveness I noticed about them. I don't see as much passive aggressiveness with men and boys as much. So I don't know if that's just more of a female personality flaw or what, but girls like to undercut girls that they perceive as lower on the totem pole than them, and I definitely it must have affected me in some way. Here I am 30 years later still talking about this. I know you're thinking, why are you talking? Well, you should be over this stuff by now, but you'd be surprised what you can remember, even with that stretch of time. But I'll always remember some of the bitchy girls that I had to deal with, and it's not. People like to say, well, people that bullies, they don't feel good about their own lives, so they pick on other people to feel better. And okay, maybe so. I think some of the girls I remember from 7th grade, they might not have been exactly high achieving types. But I remember I got suspended a few times. I have been suspended from school for fighting with other girls. But I remember this one girl, she was a total bitch. Yes, I got suspended. It was worth it. I wasn't going to take her crap. And when I was going to school, so you could get suspended, and basically what it is you and all the other troublemakers would be in this little room, like a cute little mini cubicles or something, and you were not allowed to talk to anybody. There would be some, I don't know, teacher in there in charge, and you'd go eat lunch at a different time. And so you know what? Me, who was always isolated socially anyway, that didn't feel like much of a punishment. If you think about it. But anyway, there are a few other. One thing I remember, 8th grade wasn't as bad when I look back, but I kind of think some of these bitchy girls that gave me a hard time, I wonder if there's like 2 or 3 that I remember, including the one that I got suspended over for fighting with and had to go to the principal's office and all that. I don't know if she went to a different school or got held back a grade. Okay, maybe karma got him for that. I guess I don't know. It blows my mind. Women can be so vicious. I don't know where. I mean, it just blows my mind. I mean, usually when guys do bad shit, there's a reason behind it, but I don't understand. I think women just want to be cruel for the sake of being cruel. I don't know. And I know what you're thinking. I don't know. Maybe I have some kind of antidote that maybe kept me from getting corrupted like they did. But anyway, moving on. Um, Now I want to talk about some experiences I had that involve bullying, and I don't know if I'd say outright. It could have been, but it involved boys, and there's a couple of ways we could look at this. Some people might say, okay, let's say you're a woman like I was in seventh grade, and you're getting picked on and harassed or whatever, and your friend might tell you, oh, maybe he's just got a secret crush on you and he don't really know how to express it, so he just resorts to, just being an asshole, and that is a possibility. um, and then there's the other thing, and the other thing is they're trying to impress the Stacy. And if you're like me, and if you want to know how I felt a lot of the time, go see the Carrie movie, the Stephen King, based on the Stephen King novel. I was a lot like her. Remember, definitely watch the remake, the one that came out in 2013. Um, they're both good, but I was a lot like her. I mean, everybody was picking on Carrie. Boys, girls, teachers, yeah, I mean, even the teachers ragged on her. I mean, that poor girl couldn't catch a break no matter what she did. So, um, anyway, so that's pretty much it. Um, Most of the time, you're getting crap from your someone of the opposite sex. I really think if it's not a crush, and I'm not going to quickly rule that out. Oh, it could be. Guys tend to be kind of boneheaded at that age when they're trying to, express themselves. You've heard about girls talk about a guy that always shoving them at the drinking fountain, or maybe he's putting gum in their hair, something in their hair or something to get their attention, or something like that. But anyway, I think you get my drift. I'm going to tell you about one particular, actually, two, but I do remember this one scenario. This was seventh grade. I remember this one boy I went to school with, and I definitely don't think it was I don't think it was a crush at all. I mean, he just had this really nasty attitude about him. I mean, he was like either, I don't know, he had a just, the permascowl, and he just was always in a bad mood or something. Um, Looking back, I wonder if he didn't come from a broken home or something. But anyway, uh, but he was always. I was just walk away from him because, I mean, I didn't take anything he said personally, but honestly, he gave off what I would like to call school shooter vibes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I heard about the Parkland shooter. I think it was Nicholas Cruz, and I thought for a minute, I said, no, that wasn't his name, but he sure did look a lot enough like him. I mean, just like one of these people that's like mad 24/7 or something. Okay, one time I'm in class, and it's obviously before the teacher gets there. I had $5, and I don't know why I had $5. Don't ask me why. It was like over 30 years ago. Okay, and he for some reason knew that I had money, and he really wanted to get that money. And he kept begging and pleading and begging and pleading to let me look in his bag, begging and pleading, let me look at this. I don't know. It was a tote bag, not a purse. And I had that $5. I don't know what it was going on, but at first, I mean, I knew what was going on, and I had a thought just then. I said, let him have it. He wants that $5. All you gotta do is report it to the principal. He'll get busted, and you'll have a good day. Okay, and I felt like as much as I'd been pissed on by all the other kids around me, I felt like, hey, a chance to throw my own mud. I'll take it. So I let him do it and let him take that money. I knew he was going to get it. So the next night I went to the principal and I pretty much carried out my plan. And he was actually, then I told him, and then next thing you know, that asshole was right there saying, "You ruined my day, you stupid." Ah, I'll tell you what, I was having a damn good day. Oh my God. To this day, I will never know what was the deal with that guy. I mean, he was just fucking weird. Fucking weird, had anger issues. But I felt good knowing that I had an opportunity to report somebody, get back at him in a way. I mean, at least a legit one. So, I'm probably going to turn this off now. I've kind of gone on about this whole thing about bullying for a little longer than I intended, but if you got some experiences you want to share, drop a line in the comments. I want to hear more about what you went through. If you were, if you had a rough time in middle school, junior high, or high school, and anything that sticks out that even in adulthood. Okay, well, I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.